Good day, everyone. May I present to you my research entitled Use of Interactive Visual Novel Game in Teaching Grade 8 Physics. I am Janine Faye B. Tagarda, a graduate of Master of Arts in Physics Education and part-time faculty at Bicol University Senior High School program. To improve the quality of science education in the Philippines, the government implemented the K-12 curriculum. This curriculum is designed around the three domains of learning science: understanding and applying scientific knowledge in local setting, as well as global context whenever possible, performing scientific processes and skills, and developing and demonstrating scientific attitudes and values. Organizing the curriculum around situations and problems that challenge and arouse learners' curiosity motivates them to learn and appreciate science as relevant and useful to their lives. Rather than relying solely on textbooks, varied hands-on, minds-on, and hearts-on activities will be used to develop learners' interest and let them become active learners. Based on this conceptual framework of the K-12 curriculum, the researcher thought of developing an instructional material for students as supplementary resources they could get, aside from relying only on their learning modules. Now we are in the digital age. Many different video games and applications that can catch the attention of people of different age groups come to existence. A lot of modern age teenagers spend a lot more time in playing video games as much as the time they spend studying in school, according to research conducted by University of Indiana, USA. According to Quo, educational video games and simulators can teach educational skills such as algebra, biology, photography, computer programming, and flight training. Moreover, he also suggested that appropriate simulation games can improve a child's sense of self-esteem and even improve social, leadership, and collaboration skills, and that can also lengthen the attention span of a child. The visual novel game is a genre that uses multimedia, text, images, sound effects and music, video clips and animation effects, and sometimes with voice clips to add more dramatic effects to the game. It is a story-driven game with a gameplay which is extremely minimal, which is only played by clicking to keep the game moving. Popular in Japan, this usual visual novel uses multiple storylines, so the players will achieve different endings of the story. In visual novels, the walkthrough of the game lies in the hands of the player. They are able to make choices or decisions within the game, and the outcomes will depend on the choices they made. To create a visual novel game, a visual novel engine is used. Among the popular visual novel engines are Novelty, RenPy, Unity, and Tyranno Builder. RenPy was chosen in making the visual novel software because it is free to use, customizable, and could be multi-platform. Python, the easy and efficient script language used in RenPy, makes it possible for non-programmers to make visual novels. This study aimed to develop and evaluate the effect of the interactive visual novel game in teaching physics to grade 8 students of Tabaco National High School. Moreover, it sought answers to the following questions. 1. What interactive visual novel game may be developed with the following features? A. Variation of visual examples, diagrams, and supplemental videos. B. Microtasks or quests to be completed by the students. And C. Immediate feedback in answering questions. 2. What is the effect of the interactive visual novel game on the students' conceptual understanding, critical thinking skills, attitude towards physics, and social skills? The research design and method used are descriptive developmental research method and pre-experimental research design. The instruments used were pre-test post-test for conceptual understanding, pre-test post-test for critical thinking skills, students' journals, teachers' observation sheets, and focus group discussion guide. The statistical treatment used in the study were weighted mean, percentage score, normalized gain, performance level, and t-test for paired samples. The interactive visual novel game is entitled Fractured Fairy Tale Chronicles of Newtonia. Just like other games, it also has a menu with options. Here, we have Start, Load, Lessons, Settings, and Quit. There is also a map showing the different stages of the game. It will just appear when the players start playing the game, and there will be parts of the game wherein they will battle with different monsters or creatures. And there are some parts of the game also wherein they have to make choices. So the graphics used in the game were developed by the researcher herself. One feature of the interactive visual novel game is variation of visual examples, diagrams, and supplemental videos. Here are some screenshots of the visual examples, diagrams, and supplemental videos used in the game. Another feature is what we call the microtasks or quests in the game. Here are some screenshots of the microtasks that were played by the students. Like for this example, they were made to unscramble the following words flashed on their screen. And the other one is to decode so that they can proceed to the next part of the game. And another feature is what we call immediate feedback, wherein students are going to make choices inside the game. When the choices flash on the screen, they will choose what to click, and immediately they will get feedback whether they got the correct answer or not. In the conduct of this study, the following results are acquired. These are the results of the conceptual understanding test. This test consisted of 24 items. From the pre-test that has a mean score of 6.54 and the performance level of 27.26%, it was increased during the post-test with a mean score of 9.63 and a performance level of 40.10% with a normalized gain of 0.18 with a low mastery level and highly significant increase. The researcher also considered the students with gadgets and students without gadgets, since not all students in the class have the gadgets wherein they can play the game. That's why the teacher used this, and the students were divided into groups so that everyone can experience gameplay by group. So there were 13 students with gadgets in game and 35 students without gadgets in game. So for the students with gadgets, from 66.385 pre-test mean, it was increased to 12.154. So 26.60% performance level, it was increased to 50.64%. While the students without gadgets, from a pre-test mean score of 6.629, it increased to 8.686. And performance level from 27.62, it increased to 36.19%. Here are the results of the critical thinking skills test. The number of items for this test is 16. In the pre-test, the mean score is 6.54 performance level is 27.44. It increased in the post-test, having a mean score of 9.63 and performance level of 50.26, having a normalized gain of 0.31, which is highly significant. Comparing the students with gadgets versus those without gadgets. For the students with gadgets, from a pre-test mean score of 6.769, it increased to 10.923, and in the performance level, from 42.31%, it increased to 68.27%. For those without gadgets, from a mean score in the pretest of 4.371, it increased to 6.971. With a performance level of 27.32%, it increased in the post-test with 43.57%. And here are the results of the student's attitude checklist. So the pretest, or the checklist that was answered before the implementation, the students had a mean score of 3.75, so they agreed. And for the post-test, or the one answered after the implementation, they got a mean of 4.37. They also agreed. For the students' social skills, it was manifested that the students enjoyed working with their classmates or group mates to accomplish the tasks given in-game and hands-on. Although there were few students who did not cooperate with their group mates at first, eventually they became engaged with the tasks assigned to their groups. Based on the findings, the following conclusions were drawn. The developed interactive visual novel game for Grade 8 Physics focused on force and motion and was characterized by three features: variation of visual examples, diagrams, and supplemental videos, microtasks or quests as part of the students' learning activities in the classroom, and immediate feedback in answering questions, which can be used as an instructional material. The IVNG infused a positive effect on the students' conceptual understanding, critical thinking skills, attitude towards physics, and social skills. Based from the findings and conclusion, the following are recommended. 1. The interactive visual novel game may be enhanced by making it a standalone game wherein the hands-on activities will be separated from the in-game quests. 2. The interactive visual novel game may be enhanced to make it more interactive. 3. The content of the IVNG is modifiable, hence the activities embedded in the game can be changed and adjusted according to the learning needs of the students. And lastly, the multiple-choice pre-test, post-test questions were limited to measure all conceptual understanding and critical thinking skills of the students. Thus, it may be enhanced by adding more test questions. So, thank you very much for listening to my presentation.